that. Alrighty. Well, here we are. We're nearly into spring. First day of spring is just around the corner, and best time in the world for building networks for some reason. Everybody wants to get fit and healthy for summer. They're all looking for better products that do better things for them. They're wanting to do all sorts of stuff. Some people are wanting to make some money. Some people are just wanting to get healthy. We've got solutions for all of them. And what I want to try and point out is that on tonight's call, I'm going to cover a little bit about some product and cover a little bit about the income, but I'm going to cover a lot about the industry as a whole. And so as it gives you a better understanding of what you're actually involved in, right? And so firstly, what I'll do is I'll share this little video in regards to the income. Then I'll go and have a look at, we'll talk about a little bit of product, and then we'll talk about the industry. How about that? It doesn't matter which order we do this in. So let me share the screen. Let me get that up there. And let me press play.
Now, there are numerous bonuses and incentives. And I'm just going to go through the first four now. The rank advancement bonuses, the product introductory bonuses, the double PIVs, and the theme cycle bonus. Now, don't worry about understanding all these bonuses now. Right? You'll soon get familiar with them over time. And I promise you they'll be a lot clearer the second time you see them. So let's just have a quick look at some hypothetical exams. Now, initially to enroll, it's going to cost you $25 if you're on AutoShip. And for that, you're going to get a website, business tools, and training. You become active by purchasing a minimum of 100 BV of product each month. And by purchasing at least 50 BV of product every 14 days, you will remain active. You then stay on AutoShip. Now, the first rank that you're going to achieve is consultant. And consultant is when you start and you introduce two people, one on the left, one on the right. Everybody's doing at least 100 BV of product. And when that happens, you would then receive a $50 bonus. See, Isagenix pay us for teaching people. You would receive a $50 bonus for teaching these two people about Isagenix and getting them onto the product. And then what happens if the people that you personally enroll go and enroll two people, one left, one right, they become a consultant, they would receive $50. But Isagenix will actually even pay you more. They'll pay you $100 for teaching people to teach people. And they'll keep paying this $100 for each of the new consultants that you help become consultants for the first 20 that you personally enroll. And so in this situation here, where you've enrolled two people that both become consultants, you're going to be eligible for $250 in bonuses total. And that doesn't matter how long it takes to get to that level. But if you do that within 60 days of joining, you then become what they call a crystal manager. And you would receive an extra $250. So all up, you've had $500 in bonuses within 60 days of starting. Product introductory bonuses. Now, these are earned by sharing qualified packs of assistance with a new member on their initial order. And these bonuses vary depending on the product pack or system purchase. You can see there the premium packs, the weight loss premium packs, $80, energy premium packs, $80, performance premium pack, $80, and so on. The ultimate packs, $100. Then you got 30-day weight loss systems, $25, and so on. Healthy maintenance system, $15. So depending on the product pack as to which bonus level you're going to receive as a PIV. And if we look at this one, the 30-day weight loss system, that's fairly common. In that you get 56 meals, there's 4 lots of shakes in there, 4 days of cleanse. You've got the Isagenix snacks, the Ionic Supreme, Natural Accelerator, and Isoflush. On this pack, you get a $25 PIV. It's got 222 BV on it, and it would cost $358 on AutoShip. So that's enough to last someone a month, 2 meals a day, and so it works out at about $12 a day, includes tonics and Natural Accelerator. So if you were to introduce someone and they bought a 30-day pack, you would receive a $25 PIB. If you introduce somebody else and they bought a premium pack, on the bigger packs, you'd receive an $80 PIB. So all up, you're $105. But as an active associate on AutoShip, you can qualify for double PIB by joining 2 or more new associates on qualifying packs with AutoShip during the same commission week. And if you were to do that, and the commission week goes from midnight New York, Sunday night, through to the following week, midnight New York time, then what would happen is those PIBs would double. So you'd get $50 plus $160, it'd be $210 all up. And you've already received, you also get the $50 for becoming a consultant. So all up, you get $260 back. And you can share the concept with many people as you like. In an Isagenix, we only build 2 teams, a left team and a right team. And we get paid cycle bonuses. And this really is where the ongoing income comes in. This is where the residual income comes in. Now, visualize your organization with the business volume bank account below each of your left and your right sales team. And as sales occur anywhere in your network marketing organization, right, whether you personally enrolled those people or not, BV accumulates in each of these business volume banks. That's both from new enrollments and from reorders. And every time you, as a paid as consultant, accumulate a total of at least 600 BV on one side and 300 BV on the other, you earn 1 cycle, which equates to $60. So it all starts with you. You have a minimum of 100 BV. And then if you introduce someone on the right-hand side, you'll see that in your bank account down the bottom, you've got 100 BV down. It's been generated this week. Before that, it was all 0. And then if you introduce someone on the right-hand side, they do 300 points, you'll see it accumulate there. And then your person on the right-hand side has introduced someone, 150, and so that is added to your volume. You didn't enroll them, but that volume is still added to your total volume. And then this just keeps going. And as more people enroll, the volume in both accounts will go up. And when you get to 300 BV on one side and 600 BV on the other, you qualify for 1 cycle, which is $60 Australian. At the moment, you've got 400 on the left and 550 on the right. Now, we just had another 300 go in on the left. So what happened? That took your left sales volume team to 700. Your right volume sales team was still at 550. So what the computer does, it then goes through automatically, deducts 600 from the first team to hit the 600, which is your left team in this case. It'll deduct 300 from the right sales team and credits you with 1 cycle. We don't have to worry about any of this. This is all done for us. Isagenix back office computer. It's brilliant. And then as more volume is added and as more people are added, you'll see the volume keeps going up here in both your teams. And as we get to the 600 and 300, you'll get another cycle. And that just keeps happening. And so this is how your volume keeps adding up. Now, the good thing with Isagenix is what we call a non-flushing binary. We get paid weekly. And so at the end of the week, what happens? You get credited, you'll get paid the following week for the 5 cycles you've done that week. But then it goes back to 0 in your weekly volume. But anything that's still remaining at that point counts towards next week's cycle. This is what we call a non-flushing binary. There's a lot of other companies out there that at the end of the period, they flush all the points that are left. Whereas here, now, you've already got 150 on the left, 450 on the right. And you're only looking for that 300 and 600. What happens, we've got a maximum of 250 cycles. All this volume can just keep adding up and adding up and adding up with unlimited depth. And when you get to 250 cycles, that would work out at 15,000 a week or 780,000 a year. You then qualify for a re-entry in another business. And basically, as I mentioned before, we're in the business of teaching people to teach people to teach. So you teach, they teach, repeat. Let's have a look at this example. You introduce 2 people, and each of those introduce another 2. And then there'd be 4 at that second level. And then as those people at the 4 of that second level go and introduce more, then it'd keep going up. And if everybody was just getting 2, this is how it could keep growing. It just keeps growing, keeps growing. That's everybody just getting 2. And there's no limit to how far down in your organisation you pay the bonuses on. It doesn't matter how deep it gets. There's unlimited depth with this isogenic. The volume keeps accumulating for you until you achieve 250 cycles a week. That'll be 15,000 a week or 780,000 a year. Now, I've been in other businesses where, with a structure like this hypothetical example, you would receive much less. One of them, it would have been a cut off at $1,000 a week. And in the other one, it would have been like $1,000 a month. Exactly the same structure, same amount of volume going through. There's no doubt Isagenix has by far the most generous compensation plan I've ever seen in 30 odd years that I'm involved with the industry. But let's suppose you get a handful, you get 5 people. And each of those 5 that you've enrolled, you teach them to get another 5. Right? And they teach their people to get 5. Who teach 5. Who teach 5. Well, then you have 3,905 people in your organisation, you're just 5 levels deep. There's everybody just teaching a handful, 5. And if everybody was doing 100 BV, you'd have 390,000 points going through. Right, divide that by 900, 600 on one side, 300 on the other, so 900, bring it back to cycles, be 430 cycles a month, works out at 100 cycles a week, by $60 a cycle, work out at $6,000 a week, right, 300,000 per year. And that's with everybody just getting a handful, right? You've taught your people to get a handful, they've taught their people to get a handful. The residual income available is incredible. I mean, even if you're doing just 1 cycle per week as residual income, that would be $60 a week or $3,000 a year. And to make $3,000 a year, you would need 100,000 invested at 3%. If you were doing 10 cycles a week, it would be $600 a week or $30,000 a year. And to make this amount of money, you would need $1 million invested. And 100 cycles per week would be $6,000 per week or $300,000 per year. And to make this amount of money, you would need $10 million. So when you join the Isagenix team and share the information with people who purchase the product, you're compensated very generously by Isagenix. There's no doubt about it. That's how come these people have made so much money. And whether you just want to get your products paid for, make a little bit of extra, or whatever, you can do it. The proven plan being done by hundreds and hundreds of people.
Isn't that interesting? I think that's the simplest way I've ever seen the Isagenix plan explained, because, you know, we all know people who want to either get healthy or make a few dollars. And quite frankly, most people do more for money than they'll do for their own health. I mean, how many, you know, has anybody ever gone to work crook just because you need the money? Hell yes, we've all done that. Right? So, you know, it's interesting. It's very interesting. Now, what I want to do now is I want to go and get another little video. So bear with me for a second, guys. Okay, I can't do that. So I'll dig in here. I'll go and get this video.
This is the ideal person's.
Hang on a second. Now, I've got my new computer, but I'm still struggling to find a smooth way to get these transitions done, but I will get there, so bear with me. All right, so now, you know, when we look at the products, we look at some of the ingredients, and it's got this vitamin and this product and this and that and everything else in it. And look, some of us understand a lot of that. Most of us don't. It looks good. Okay, that looks good. Sounds good. Well, I'll give it a bash. Well, when you look at the human body, if our blood is not right, then everything's wrong. If you can keep your blood right, you've got a real good chance of remaining healthy. And the Isagenix products, because they work synergistically together, they're designed to multiply the value of the product and the next product and the next product. So as you take the ionics and the shakes and the cleanse and all that sort of stuff, it multiplies the value of each product. And we sit there, and after we've been in for a while, we become a little complacent about, oh yeah, I have my shakes, I have my bars, have my ionics data, and we don't think about it. We just do it. And we've forgotten what's actually going on inside the human body. Now, hang on a second. I've been doing some digging around, and I've got some absolutely fascinating facts that you will find absolutely useless in everyday conversation. But I just think it's interesting. Now, because I'm trying to get across to you just how amazing your body is and why we need to give it the absolute best treatment we can give it. Now, as a young bloke, I thought the best treatment I could give my body was at least a 6-pack a day, right? At least. And then some bloke introduced me to bourbon, and he taught me how to drink bourbon. And I thought, wow, that's interesting. And I don't know whether you've ever been taught how to drink bourbon properly, but you don't mix it with anything. You have it straight, you put it in your mouth, you swill it around a little bit, and the mouth just goes numb. Right? Then he said, now let it roll down the back of your throat. And that near killed me. And then it got down into my belly, and he said, can you feel the fire? Oh, yeah, man, I can feel the fire. Holy moly. He said, the trick to drinking bourbon is don't ever let the fire go out. And I thought, oh no, there's got to be something wrong with that. So now that we get into Isagenix and we start understanding that the body's a bit more fragile, and maybe that's got something to do with my age, and I'm starting to respect what I've got a bit better. But listen to this. Here's some interesting useless facts. Your heart beats about 35 million times a year. Right? During an average lifetime, the human heart will beat more than 2.5 billion times. Now, if you've got a pump that's got to do that, you want to make sure it's well cared for. You don't want to be gunking that pump up with anything, because you've got a pretty important job to do. Now, your body has about 5.6 litres of blood. Now, that 5.6 litre blood circulates through the body 3 times every minute. Now, your blood carries the nutrients and the oxygen, right? And it goes through your body 3 times every minute. Now, you want it carrying good fuel. You want the nutrition to be good, right? Now, where am I? Every minute. In one day, blood travels a total of 19,000 kilometres, and that's 4 times the distance across the United States from coast to coast. And we take all this for granted because it's happening automatically. We're not having to sit there and monitor it and do all that. Right? Think about this, brain health, right? Brain health. Now, some people argue that I'm long past that. But anyway, let's give it a try, right? Brain health. if all the arteries and veins and capillaries of the human, oh no, hang on, that's, where do I get to? Oh no, this is just your circulatory system. I'll get to the brain in a minute, right? If all the arteries, veins and capillaries of the human circulatory system were laid end to end, the total length would be 100,000 kilometers. Right? That's nearly 2.5 times around the Earth. And we walk around taking it all for granted. Right? Where's this other bit here? Oh, point 1's missing. It didn't print point 1, which was the brain thing. Oh, well, never mind. That's okay. Now, the red blood cells live for about 4 months, circulating throughout the body, feeding the 60 trillion other body cells. Red blood cells make approximately 250,000 round trips of the body before returning to the bone marrow where they were born, and they go there to die. Now, let's have a little bit of a look here, right?
This is the ideal person's blood, nice and round and hydrated, and the little white blood cell in the middle doing work, checking on each of them, making sure they're healthy. Here's someone with a challenge, possibly too much sugar. After the cleanse, everything's hydrated and round. Here's someone with an even deeper challenge. All of the cells seem to be stuck together and a little translucent. Looks like that they're not stuck like they were before. This person possibly has eaten too much meat. There's too much fat in the bloodstream. That's the triglycerides you see there in the back. Little white blood cell there doing its job. This person might have been exposed to something. Suddenly his blood cells are in serious trouble. Same person after his 11-day experience. And this person, of course, I am sure wasn't feeling well. This is just 11 days later. 4 days of cleanse and 5 days of replenish. You decide.
So what we're looking at there is when we think about all those statistics of what the blood actually does and how far it's got to travel, it makes good sense to fill our bodies with the best fuel we can absolutely put into it, that are isogenics. Now, you know, there's been independent studies done at various universities and all sorts of things that put isogenics at absolute the forefront of nutrition. Now, we can't run around and tell people this cures that or this will fix that or whatever. However, we can tell people that we've seen some highly beneficial results. Highly beneficial, right? And so when you think about what we've got, you know, you and I, we're involved in an industry. And the industry we're involved in is direct selling. And I saw some statistics the other day, and I just want to read them out to you. Because sometimes people think that what they're actually doing is some tiddly little thing that's just inconsequential. It's just a little thing on the side. Now, it can be a little thing on the side, right? Or it can be massive. It's up to you, right? It's however you want to look at it. In America, the National Football League franchises turn over $9.5 billion for the NFL. Now, the music industry turns over 16.5 billion. Oh, I want to be a singer. I want to be a rock star. Whoopie-doo, right? The movie industry, I want to be a movie star. I should be Leo DiCaprio or Mark Wahlberg or somebody, you know. Well, it only turns over $80 billion per year. 80. Network marketing industry, it turns over $178 billion. It absolutely dwarfs all the others. Right? Now, why would you pick this? Well, think about it. Very low investment, costs you $25 to start your own business. You got low overheads. There's no employees, right? You got time freedom. It fits in around whatever time you've got that you want to put in. It's up to you, right? You've got an opportunity for a residual income. Like when I think back, years back when I had a job, and it was years back, if I didn't front up, they didn't pay. They were pretty fussy about that. You know, you want your money, you better come to work on Monday, sunshine. This way, I can build a residual income. You know, some of you know I've had a small glitch going on for the last couple of weeks that sort of laid me a little bit low. However, didn't affect my income whether I fronted up or not. In fact, I think it went up. I think I might have another glitch next week. See if it goes up again. That could be good fun. All right, you've got some certain tax advantages and you've got unlimited income. You don't need experience. How many of you had to go and learn and do training or apprenticeships to get the job you got? Go to university to get the degree? Yep. Yeah, right? No experience required. You've got all the team support and full training available to you for free, right? So, you know, this is pretty interesting stuff. So what I want to do now is we're going to come back and have a look at some product stuff again in a minute, I think, depending on how we're going for time. But let me just share screen again. Oh, come on. There we go. We go here. Now, these figures are a little bit old. These are 2016, and this is the Direct Selling Association of America. Now, Australia's got one as well, but their graphs and everything they're not drawn out as well as what the US ones are. So let's have a little bit of a look at this. The people involved in direct selling in millions. In 2011, there was 15.5 million. In 2016, there's about 16 million there. Oh, no, hang on, 15, about 20 million there, right? Now, what you've got in 2016, 15.2 million were discount customers. Are people in your group who are just happy to be buying product, and that's great. We love those people. They don't want to go out and build a network. They don't want the money, all that sort of stuff. They're just happy to buy the product, and God bless their cotton socks for doing that, right? 4.5 million were part-time business builders. 4.5 million just part-time. So they've still got their jobs. They still go to work. They bring in a few extra dollars. Now, they might bring in enough money to just pay for their product, or they might bring in enough money to pay a car payment or whatever, right? It doesn't matter. But 800,000 in the US were full-time business builders. Of the 20 million, 800,000 are full-time income earners. That's a pretty small percentage. Right? Now, if we look down here, sales by major product group, and this is in the billions. In the billions. All right? Now, The very light blue, that's 2014. That one's 2015. This one's 2016. The darker blue is 2016. So if we have a look at the figures and we look down here on the lowest end, leisure and educational, they're not doing much, right? Not even, I'd say they might be ticking over at 1 billion. Clothing and accessories, oh, they're up around the 3 and a bit billion, right? Personal care, makeup and all that sort of gear, very skin care, all that sort of stuff, that's ticking along pretty well, although it's taken a little bit of a hit, right? Home, family care and durables. Well, that's even taking a tiny little step backwards. There's a company out there that quite a few of us used to be involved in that are in this category, right? Services and others. And then you've got wellness. Look at the wellness model. Do you think the population are interested in wellness? Absolutely, right? And look over here at this, over here at the people involved by age on the far left-hand side. If you look at the under 25s, 8.2%. If we look at the 25 to 34-year-olds, 20-odd%, 35 to 44, 26%, 44 to 54, 23%, and 55 to 64, 14%. And us old fogies, we hardly cut a mention in here, right? But at the end of the day, the entire demographic is represented in the industry. It excludes nobody. Why? Well, from our perspective, we all need good health, right? And a few extra dollars never, ever goes astray. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing that. I'm going to unmute everybody and see where I am. There I am. And see if anybody's got any questions on what you've seen so far. Has anybody got any questions?
That's a no-brainer. What industry is the right one?
Yeah, that's true, mate. That's true. All right, so we're all good?
Yep.
Okay, well, I'll go back to mute all. And away we go again. All righty. Now, let me just go over here. I've got to dig out another, little video. So bear with me for a second while I try and find this video, because this isn't the way. I had it all lined up to go the other way, and then I tried to do it just before you all came on, and it wouldn't let me do it. And so now I'm struggling a little bit. So
about making money.
Okay, now I'm just going to go back there and reduce that, bring that down there, get rid of that. Now, this next video it's about money, but it's about product, it's about wellness and the industry that we're in. All righty. Now, the gentleman speaking is a guy called Paul Zane Pilzer. Now, Paul Zane Pilzer is a world-renowned economist. He's worked for 4 US presidents and 2 Russian presidents, right? Pilzer's got a rough idea which way a dollar turns. So when some of your good-meaning friends tell you that you're as dumb as 2 short planks for doing this, understand something. One of the world's leading economists reckons that this is not a bad deal. All righty. So let's have a little listen to Paul Zane Pilzer.
Truth about making money, and there is no other opportunity. And how many jobs offer someone starting out, not when they own a business and they're old, the opportunity to make money today on what they did yesterday? Residual income, you tell people the truth about it, that's the only way you accumulate wealth. Another reason I like network marketing so much is distribution. As I've written out in most of my work, and all my work even back from the 80s explains that the largest value add to any economy is the person who distributes things, not the person who makes things. Distribution is 80% of the cost of any retail product. And so in the 80s and 90s, the people who became millionaires were Sam Walton, founder of FedExpress, Fred Smith, Ross Perot, distributed hardware and software computers. It wasn't the people who made those things. It was the people who distributed them, like Walmart, that made all the money. Why? Because 80% of the retail cost of an item today and back then is in its distribution cost. So can you see right away, if you find a better way to lower the 20% manufacturing by 10%, you knock $2 off a $100 item. Find a way to lower the distribution cost, you make some serious money. Now that's changed. Starting around 2000, the opportunity to distribute things and make money went away. Walmart, they got real efficient. Amazon, but what happened? Distribution changed from physical distribution, taking a product from a factory, getting it to a consumer, to intellectual distribution. Intellectual distribution is my term for taking information about a product and getting it to a consumer. Intellectual distribution is telling somebody about something that they didn't know before that will improve their life. Think about that. Intellectual distribution. The bottleneck in any economy, the bottleneck right now in the United States, where household savings is up to $68 trillion. It's enough to pay off the debt 5 times. And people aren't spending. They're not spending because they don't want to spend money. These are people who are giving a lot of money. These are the knock the 40 million out of work. These are the people with the nets. These are the people producing $15.5 trillion GDP. They're not spending money because they don't know what to spend it on. You know, they're not spending on flashy handbags anymore or things that don't have value. But there are so many products that would improve their children's education, that would improve the lives of their families, but they don't know the products exist. And as I talked about this afternoon, which is not what I'm here today this night for, but someone else is the biggest thing that we need in this country is to do something about 65% overweight and obese population, who have miserable lives just because of their health.
Isn't that interesting? Intellectual distribution, and the biggest problem is the millions and millions and millions of people who are obese and overweight, and the opportunity is massive. We have the intellectual distribution. Tonight is a classic example, right? Maria and Lisa are in Queensland, Ben's in Victoria, Mike's in Western Australia, the rest of us are in South Australia, and here I am disseminating intellectual information to all you people at no cost, so as that then you can go forward and disseminate it to others who will then come on board, or they won't. Either way, they can make up their own mind. But this is how the people who understand these systems of communication and distribution of knowledge will make a lot of money. Will make an absolute mozza of money, right? Now, let me think. I'm going to go and find one more little video. And for those of you who were in Adelaide at the function, you would have seen this. Those of you who weren't, you may have seen it before, but it'll do us good to see it again. No, this isn't the one. Sorry guys, wrong one. Wrong one. This one.
Okay, let me show you.
Now, this is Steve Harvey, right? Now, Steve has a syndicated TV show, and I know I showed it on the weekend, but I guarantee everybody that was there hasn't given it much more thought since, right? Now, on Monday night, we had Paul McInerney speaking on Trevor and Linda's webinar, and Paul was talking about the fact that they were so broke before they got introduced to Isogenics through a couple of bad business decisions that they were living on borrowed money. He was also living in a borrowed house that he couldn't pay rent on. Right? Now, Paul really did get his act together. Right? Paul's now making $25,000 a week, whether he fronts up or not. And that's reasonable chaff, you know. I mean, 25 grand. Can you imagine, and this is important, can you imagine your life on $25,000 a week, 100 grand a month? Like, get your head around that. Give that some thought, right? That is high cotton, you know. Like, I mean, that's good money. I don't care who you are, right? $25,000 a week. Now, Paul McInerney and Susan Skillen, his partner, they're very, very interesting people. Now, Susan, and look, some of us worry about what our friends will think of us if we ask them to come and have a look at this business. Oh, you know, what will Mary think of me? What will Harry say? Oh, what if they bag me? What if this? What if that? Susan could not be on the call on Monday night with Paul. She was out visiting an old friend she hadn't seen for years, Jane Fonda. Right? Now, Jane was in Sydney doing a show or something, and Susan went to catch up with her. Now, think about this. Susan Skillen used to be Lady Diana's personal trainer, Barbara Streisand's personal trainer. She was would work for the Aga Khan all over Europe, doing personal training for his family. She worked with Jane Fonda, and still they go out and build a network. Now, you've got to think about that. I mean, you know, you and I recognize the names. She's their friends. I think she has a little bit more kudos and credibility to worry about than, you know, my mate down in the factory in the back of Gawler somewhere. Right? So what happens is Paul and Susan get stuck into building this business. And the problem I think that we've got, we all get amazed at the results of other people, and we don't stop and think or imagine what might be possible for ourselves. What if? Can you imagine? It might not be $25,000 a week like Paul's earning, but can you imagine $5,000 a week? Can you imagine picking up $5,000 a week, whether you front up for work or not? You could sleep in until noon if you wanted. Stay up till dawn, wouldn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter. You've got to understand that it's possible. But if we can't imagine it, we have little chance of building it. And so sometimes we have to imagine smaller little bits, just itty bitty little bits, an extra 200 or 300 a week. Once we see that, we can go 400 or 500 a week. Then we can imagine a bit more and a bit more and a bit more. But can you imagine? Let's have a listen to Paul Harvey. I think this is pretty good. In fact, I think it's fantastic.
Okay, let me show you this that I had to learn. Albert Einstein said that imagination is everything. It's the preview to life's coming attractions. That's what your imagination is. Your imagination is actually very, very real. Everything you imagine could be a preview to life's coming attraction. Everything we have today came from somebody's imagination. Somebody was talking on the phone with their cord on the wall and got sick of it and said, you know what, man, if I could just go outside and talk on the phone, ta-da, we got cell phones. Somebody got tired of driving across the country and said, man, if I could fly over there, boom, we got airplanes. Imagination is everything. It's a preview to life's coming attractions. Everything you've ever imagined is real. See, I tell young people like this. First of all, this is how your imagination works. You got to grab this concept. It is impossible for you to think an impossible thought. That is impossible. You can't think something that ain't possible. You ain't that smart. So if it's in your head, you got to ask yourself, how did it get there? That's God showing you a preview of a coming attraction he has for you. The problem with most people is you think your imagination is hocus pocus. It's really not. It's a preview of a coming attraction. If you react to your imagination, that's where your real life is. It's just God showing you what he has for you. The problem people have is they tell their imagination to the wrong people.
Isn't that interesting? We tell our imagination to the wrong people. You know, I've been in this industry for 30 odd years. And I got to tell you, there's plenty of people out there that want to steal your dream. Oh, no, don't do this, don't do that, da, 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 da. But they don't have an option, right? Now, I took a hiatus and went out into manufacturing. I thought, oh, man, I'll build this thing and the world will be the path deep and wide to my door. The only thing that was deep and wide to my door was debt. You know, 1.6 million. You want to know how to make a small fortune? You take a large one and go into manufacturing. You'll come out of there pretty broke, right? You know, wages, rents, overhead, material costs, unbelievable things. You get into networking, $25 and buy a few products and get healthy so my blood can carry all the good nutrition around. Oh, this is cake. This is just cake. But just try and imagine. And sometimes it just starts off with imagining a fitter, healthier body. Something with a bit more power in it. And then we go, well, hang on, Fred will be interested in this, or Mary might have a go at that, or somebody will ask, and all of a sudden the little switch will flick. But can you imagine coming out? I'll come over to your house and we'll do an in-home meeting, and the law of averages will work. Now, I don't know your friends and I don't know how good you would be at asking people. It doesn't matter. But if you ask enough, we'll have a house full. And out of that, we'll sponsor 3 out of every 4. We'll sponsor 3 out of 4 that turn up there. We know that. That's what we do. So from that, can you imagine one day, it might happen fast, it might happen slow, but one day, all of a sudden you look around and you think, oh, wow, I got money in the bank. And there's more going in next week. And there's more going in next week. Oh, this is pretty cool. Right? Now, just on that, Robin, just for your information, if you can let Ruben know that Isagenix will be opening in the Philippines within 12 months. Okay, and let, yeah, that's good because, and if you let Hazel know also, that'd be good. So within 12 months, they'll be in the Philippines. So that could get pretty exciting for you guys as well. Yep. But, you know, can you imagine? I mean, you know, Adam's there, like his business now runs in the US. Ken and Robin's business is running in Canada, right? And they've only just started. You know, can you imagine what could happen if we put some concerted effort into this? First, take the products. You've got to get the products into you. Because if people say to you, well, you know, are these products any good? And if you go, oh, well, they reckon they are, they say they're good products, you haven't got a hope. If they're not good enough for me and you, they're not good enough for your friends or your family, that's for sure. Right? So, yeah, the products turn up. But let me show you this. Let me show you this. I'm a little bit fired up about this. Let me share this with you. All right. Now, you might be a little bit confused. Remember, when Trevor shared the little diagram before, and he said that you get paid on unlimited depth to a maximum of 250 cycles. Right? Did everybody get that? So you might have 5,000 people down here and not many down this side. So you're still getting the money in that bank over there. But then he said, when you hit your 250 cycles a week, you get another re-entry in another business. Now, I'm going to share this with you so as that I don't want you to sleep well tonight. I want you to lose some sleep thinking about this. That's you. And I know it's very difficult for you to grasp right now that you could probably do 250 cycles when you may not even be doing 10. But the multiplier effect will kick in. And then what Isagenix do is they give you another business center over here. Let me get a little see if I can draw on this. Right? So Isagenix will give you another business center over here. Now, instead of building 2 legs like you did here, you only have to build 1 leg. Right? Because these 2 legs here are where your 600 points come out of for this business. And so all you're looking for over here is every time you get 300, you get another cycle. Now, when you've done that, you work it out. It's every time you get 300 points, you get another cycle. So you don't need as many people in the second business to get the 250 cycles. And then you get another business center. That's why people in Isagenix have an unlimited income potential that will know no end. And when we look at it, we are all just getting started. They're only in 14 countries. They're going to end up in Japan, the Philippines. Japan's and the Philippines are massive networking nations. They really, really are. And you and I, even though we're, I mean, Valerie only just registered last night. She got no idea what I'm talking about here. So kudos to you, Valerie, for hanging in there. So well done. And, a lot of us are just basically ticking along nice and easy. Imagine if we really understood that there would be no limits if you would allow yourself to believe in yourself enough. Believe in yourself enough. It is the self-image that prescribes the area of possible. It is our self-image that prescribes the area of possible, how you see yourself. Can you imagine? Burn the ships, get to the shore of the enemy and burn the boats. Right? You won't need them. You're going to conquer them. Right? Have a little faith about you. Just, if you can't see it, just take it on faith that what Trevor and I are saying is correct, and it's real, and it's happening, because in actual fact, it is. It really, really is. Right? And it's happening faster and faster and faster and faster. We're starting to see the wheels spin quicker and bigger. And quite frankly, as that momentum picks up, as you come on board with us, that will spread out and pick you up with it, and your people as well. And so the more times we get this plan in front of people. Now, Robin, I'll give you or Ken a call tomorrow, no, probably Friday. And I've got to organise to come across and catch up with you guys again, okay? Yep, good. Missed that. Okay, I'll give her a ring anyway. So anyway, in all of this, the more times we do meetings, the more people we put in front of this plan, the more people we get consuming these products, the better. Better for them health-wise. The amount of people that are going down with diseases, or a particular disease that starts with C, is staggering at the moment. Doesn't matter which way you turn. Right? Now, there's only one reason for it, and that is impurities, toxins. Superphosphates are a big one. Any food that's grown in superphosphates is a real problem. And you look at what your bread's made out of and all that sort of stuff. You know, your veggies, your commercial veggies are grown in superphosphate. Your fruit trees are grown in superphosphate. Anyway, don't get me started on all of that. But so everybody needs what we've got: good, clean, dense, nutritional food. Everybody needs it. The kids need it. The adults need it, because the Isagenix products are designed to keep people in an alkaline corridor. And when your body is in an alkaline state, I'm not saying it's impossible to get a disease, but you're going to be a lot more resistant than everybody else. You really, really are. And there's not one person walking down the street. If, you know, the old philosophy is if they're warmed up to body temperature over 18 and breathing, you might as well ask them. Okay? So I'm going to unmute everybody. Where is everybody? Hang on. Go here. Oh, where did my thing go? Come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. Unmute all. All righty. Has anybody got any questions?
Oh, good.
All good?
All good?
All good.
All good.
Yep.
Just keep talking to people.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Adam's a master at it. I tell you, he's stomping this thing at the moment. So, yeah.
Another 2 in Saturday. So, all
Beautiful.
Good work, Adam. Good work.
Well done, mate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, everyone can do it. It's just asking more people. I'm asking more people. I still get plenty of no's, but I'm sifting through them quicker and finding the yeses.
Yeah, that's right.
And not prejudging.
We learned that lesson, Adam, didn't we?
Oh, certainly. Certainly. One day people might know that whole story.
Yeah, I tell you what, if ever you think somebody, oh, no, I won't do this or I won't do that, don't prejudge them. You've got to ask them, and regardless of how bizarre the circumstances may seem. So one day that story will come out. Yeah. Very good. All righty. Anybody else got anything that they want to add, take away, detract from, spread rumours about?
No, we're nice people.
Oh, you're nice people. Oh, really? Oh, hey, I wish I'd have known that ages ago. Cheeky bugger, aren't I?
Uh-huh. Thanks, Tim.
Thank you, Kay.
Okay.
Thanks. Good night, Tim.
All right. Good night, guys. Thank you so much for plugging in.
Yeah. Thanks, Tim. Thanks very much.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Was the tonight recorded, Tim?
Yes, mate, it has been.
Okay.